Strategically placed loyalty can mean survival. If Harry and Meghan backed Perry, it could encourage others to do the same. But instead, their silence feels like pure self-preservation.
Man, it's crazy how fast stuff changes in Hollywood. One day you're super cool on magazine covers, called a brave star like a modern princess. Then, poof, people who liked you start ignoring you. Meghan Markle's got time to post old dance videos from 4 years ago or talk about her wine or jam, but no time to thank a guy who helped her a ton. That's what people are saying about Meghan now. Not too long ago, she was a big deal with huge names in TV and movies loving her. But those happy stories about her bravery, they're turning into gossip, eye rolls, and people stepping away from her. Guess who really helped Meghan's Hollywood dreams come true? Tyler Perry. Don't forget, when Meghan and Harry left royal life and needed a safe place, it wasn't a fancy UK house or a royal family member who helped. It was Perry, a super rich movie guy who let them stay in his big house with security and everything. He did all that without even being super close friends with them before. It wasn't just being nice, it was about trust. Back then, it seemed like they'd be buddies because of this huge favor. But now, that trust seems totally gone. Tyler, who Meghan once called a lifesaver, isn't talking about her at all. In Hollywood, not saying anything speaks louder than words. And worse, some say Tyler's had enough. At the BET Awards, he didn't say names, but when he said on stage, "You can't build a castle if you don't pay your bills," everyone froze. People knew who he meant. That wasn't just random talk. It was a big hint. The gossip got louder. Did Meghan not pay back his help? Did she use his kindness? Some close to him say he felt used, like his help wasn't respected or thanked the way he hoped. When someone like Tyler Perry, who built his own huge success, says something like that, people pay attention. But it's not just Tyler backing off. Even Oprah Winfrey, yeah, the Oprah, isn't talking to Meghan anymore. This isn't just silly rumors. Her whole team at Harpo Productions is acting like Meghan doesn't exist in their recent work. That's a big deal. Oprah helped make Meghan look good with that big interview. She gave her a stage to tell her story. No cuts, no changes. It was deep. It was huge. It was planned. So why is she ignoring her now? That's when people start whispering about tricks. Hollywood loves a good image, but when your image looks fake, people notice. Meghan's haters say she's more about acting a part than being real. Maybe this wasn't about being free or honest, but about getting power, controlling the story, and hanging with the right people at the right time. You can see it even way back at her 2018 royal wedding. It looked like a love story, but the guest list told a different tale. Oprah, George and Amal Clooney, Serena Williams, big names, sure, but not really her besties. A royal writer, Tina Brown, said in her book that Meghan's invites weren't about old friends, but more like making work connections at her wedding. When you think about it that way, it changes how you see it. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a business move. That makes Oprah and Tyler's recent actions look different. Maybe they're not ditching Meghan. Maybe they see they were part of her big plan and don't want to play along anymore. Tyler didn't just give them a house. He gave them safety, privacy, and a fresh start when no one else did. His fancy Beverly Hills house was their hideout from the crazy UK news. Private gates, guards, no sneaky cameras. For Meghan and Harry, it was perfect. But in Hollywood, nothing's really free. Your reputation matters, and so does keeping promises. When it seemed like Meghan didn't really thank or repay that help, Tyler's friends started to get annoyed. There's quiet talk that Meghan's team used people without giving back. Tyler, who's super kind, expected at least some respect, if not a bigger thank you. Instead, he got nothing. Being loyal at the right time can keep you going in Hollywood. If Harry and Meghan supported Tyler, it might get others to do the same. But their silence feels like they're just looking out for themselves. Meghan hardly mentioned Tyler after they got settled. Behind closed doors, some say there were fights about unpaid costs and help that wasn't returned. That BT Awards moment wasn't just random. It was planned, full of meaning, and probably the result of all that frustration. Oprah's story is even trickier. She put her huge name, built over years, behind Meghan's story. That 2021 interview was supposed to be a big deal. Two women of color changing how people see royalty, honesty, and media. But over time, problems showed up. Oprah is super careful with her work. When things get messy, she steps away fast. Her team's silence is louder than any words. No Instagram tags, no posts. Meghan's name is just gone. Total cutoff. This isn't just awkward, it's business. Meghan's media dreams, once so exciting, are slowing down. Spotify dropped her. Netflix is quietly stepping back. And it's not just about bad shows, it's that she's becoming risky. Big shots in Hollywood are quietly calling her the Markle risk factor. That means working with her might cause trouble. Not because she's dramatic, but because she's not steady. Big promises, not much done. Great ideas, but they don't work out. The proof is in the numbers. That $20 million Spotify deal? It flopped after one podcast season that nobody stuck with. The Netflix show? Not a big hit, and now it's just sitting there. Even her cartoon project, Pearl, got canceled before it started. It's always the same. Big, exciting start, then nothing, then quietly dropped. Hollywood hates that kind of pattern. It doesn't make money. Now Meghan's team is in a panic. PR companies are saying no, workers are leaving. One person who worked with her said it's all messy and defensive inside. Her perfect image is now full of questions. Who's really in charge? Why do so many projects fail? And most of all, can people trust her? There's also talk about where her money's going. Meghan's charity, the Archwell Foundation, is getting looked at closely. Groups checking the money are asking about weird costs like travel and vague expenses that don't seem clear. Some say the charity looks good on paper but might not be doing much in real life. Payments are late, workers keep quitting, and it's hard to find people to give money. In Hollywood, you can't just explain things away. When your name means drama, deals stop coming, no matter how famous you are. Right now, Meghan's brand, once so shiny, is in trouble. It could bounce back or totally fall apart. Everyone's watching. The Archwell Foundation was supposed to be Meghan's big legacy. A mix of heart, purpose, and a cool image that showed she was more than just a former princess. It had all the right words: impact, fairness, world change. But now, people are asking tough questions. Money watchers are pointing out weird stuff in the budget. Experts don't like the unclear words in reports. There's talk of big fees for advisors, projects that never happened, and strange gaps in the money. In a time when even huge charities get checked, Archwell's shine is fading. For someone who stood for openness and change, Meghan is now looking unclear. And it's not just about money. People are saying she's tough to work with. Old workers say it's a confusing place with lots of changes. One person who used to work there said, "Every week it's a new idea, a new plan, a new direction for brands and partners. That's super hard." Being steady is super important in Hollywood, and Meghan's brand is losing it fast. That's why big names are stepping back. When stars like Oprah and Tyler Perry stop talking to someone, others notice. PR companies now call Meghan a lot of work with little reward. That means she's a big hassle without big wins. In a place where your name is everything, that's super bad news. Her recent tries to fix things aren't working. She hinted at a new podcast to make a comeback, but nobody cared much. No excitement, no fans. The numbers were low and the podcast felt old and boring. Critics said it didn't have heart or a clear point. For someone called a great storyteller, that's a big wake-up call. Even her meetings for new shows haven't gone well. One boss flat out said, "There's no magic left." What makes this fall so tough is that Meghan started with such a strong story. She was the outsider who broke royal rules, the woman who left a crown for freedom and truth. That story was powerful. It had heart. But bit by bit, it got lost under brand deals, planned interviews, and tons of content that didn't quite work. Now it's not just the news or fans turning away, it's the whole industry. Quietly, doors are closing. Producers aren't calling back. Invites are disappearing. She's not totally shut out, but she's not the first name on anyone's list either. In Hollywood, being invisible is worse than being in trouble. At least trouble gets attention. Silence, that's the worst. Behind the scenes, her team is falling apart. There's no clear plan, just fixes for problems. Spin stories that don't work. Attempts to change the story that flop. And all this time, her name is less about winning and more about missed chances. But there's still a tiny bit of hope. If she wants it, The one thing that could fix this isn't a new deal or show, it's being real. No fake stuff, no spin. People are tired of perfect stories. They want something true. Meghan still has a strong voice. If she stops trying to control everything and just tells her story, there could be a way back. But it's gotta happen soon, because the fairy tale is over. What happens next is up to her. The sparkly lights are fading, the cameras are turning off, and Meghan Markle isn't being shaped by the news anymore. She's being shaped by her silence or her next move.